Hello! So this final section on game development has two projects associated with it. So for these two projects, we're going to be building actual video games. The first one, we're going to be doing a text-based video game, and the second one is going to be a graphics-based video game. So these projects are going to be slightly different in that we're not going to talk through the solution code in a video, because you can really write any code that you want to do. The main purpose of these projects are to have you do computational thinking for yourself and figure out a way to accomplish a goal. In this video, we're going to walk through what is expected from the text game project and what you need to do. The second half of the video will be focused on how to break the problem down into smaller stages, and you don't have to watch the second half of the video if you're comfortable going at it for yourself. You'll be able to find our example solution code in the notebook, but we really hope that you're going to write something different and come up with a different way of solving the problem. You don't have to do as we say. In this project, we're going to be doing a text-based video game, using all the skills that you've learned from this chapter and previous chapters. So you'll need skills in dynamic, in string manipulation, list manipulation, variables, conditionals, associations, all kinds of stuff. We really recommend trying this out for yourself. There are a lot of different ways that you could go about making a text adventure in Wolfram Language. We are going to do it with dynamic content and conditionals. We've made an example game, but you can write whatever content you would like. You can make the game however you would like to make it. At the end of this project, you should have a game with the following features. So you should have a narrative with choices that the player can make, a variable that changes when certain choices are made. So in our example, we're using health. Win conditions, so ways for the player to win the game. Lose conditions, ways for the player to lose the game. And some kind of interactive interface that displays both the narrative and the player options. We've used a text field for players to type in what they want to do, but you could use buttons, drop-down menus, whatever you would prefer. Before you get started, play through the example game a couple of times, making different choices to explore the features that you can build. So let's just have a look first at the example game. So you can see we have this nice little panel that tells us our supplies, which is a variable, our current health, which is another variable, gives some narrative about the place that we're in and the options that we have, and then lists our options that we can type. So in this case, we can type in tight tunnel or wide tunnel, and we have a button to pick up the apple. If we pick up the apple, our list of supplies changed. We can click the button to eat the apple, and it looks like that increased our health by 5. If we type one of the options into the input field, so I'm going to go into the tight tunnel, it gives me my supplies variable, my health variable, gives me some narrative about the place that I'm in, and gives me some further options. So if I fight the spider with the knife, then we can see that my health goes down by 1, but I win. The spider is dead, we can keep going. And now it gives me the option to end the game, because I've beaten the thing, or I can go back to the cave. If instead I choose to go through the wide tunnel, oh no, it looks like I've been attacked by bats, so let's try fighting bats with a knife, since that worked on the spider. Oh no, it didn't work, and they took a bunch of my health. My health is now 6. I can now choose to fight it with the rope. Great, now I have beaten the bats as well, and now my options are to end the game or to go back to the cave. So let's end the game, and congratulations, we ended the game, and now we can restart. So now let's try to lose. So if I fight the spider with the rope, looks like it takes a lot of my health away. Let's fight the spider with the rope again, and I died. Sad. Now I can restart the game. Great. So if you don't want a rundown of the steps that you should take to make this game, then you can stop this video now and just make a game. If you would like to hear the steps that we took to do this game, to give you a bit of a guide, you can keep watching. So the first step of making a game is to plan it out. So before you start coding, you should have some idea of what you want to make. A lot of text adventure games have players explore the space, fight monsters, collect items, etc. You should think about your setting and characters and plot out at least some of the story before you start coding. Alternatively, you can use the narrative from the example above and have a look at the flowchart for the example game and just remake that if you're not interested in making your own narrative. In order to have the player interact, we need to have a dynamic text input. So start with getting an input field and displaying the content above it, and have it update every time that someone changes the text and then hits return. Your input field should only take inputs in the form of a string. Once you've got your text, set up the game events and the health and the items list. So set up the events that a player can trigger in the game, so everything that they can type into the text box, and set up how you use those events in the game. We recommend starting out with a linear path, so get your rapid prototype delivered before trying to expand all of the game options. So keep it really simple for now. So for example, you could have your player in the cave, and then they can choose to go into the tight tunnel, and then they can choose to fight the spider with the rope, and that's it. You'll need to set up events and a marker that tracks the input from the input field. When the player enters one of those options, the marker value should change and display the options for the new value of marker. While you're setting up variables, make one to track player health and one for the items the player is carrying. So the next step is to set up the narrative. This is how to use the marker to dictate what text appears in the game. You'll need to write some narrative and set up your code so that you can display the correct narrative for the marker, and so that you can insert relevant information into the narrative. For example, your supplies and your health. The next step is to create a fight dynamic. In the example, you can fight the bat or the spider with a knife or a rope. So for the spider, when you fight with the rope, you lose 6 health and your spider doesn't die. When you fight with the knife, you lose 1 health and the spider does die. In the game variable, your fight option markers will be for options that you can do when the player arrives at the location. So that we avoid getting stuck in an endless point decrease, we'll need to set the options for after we've done the fight to attack the spider with the rope or attack the spider with the knife. You'll need to add these new events to the game variable, add narrative for fighting, in this case the spider, with each item to the playtext variable, and create a mechanic that subtracts from player health and changes the marker from the fight marker to the attacked marker. The next step is to create a lose state. In this game, you're going to lose if your health drops below 0. So you're going to need to create a mechanic for losing the game if your health drops below 0. The next step is to create a win state. So in this game, you're going to win if you kill the monster without running out of health. So create a mechanic for winning the game if you choose to fight the spider with a knife. In the example game that we made, there's no need for a which statement to mark the end of the game. It's all done with markers within the game variable. So in this case, when the game variable is attacked spider with the knife, then you've won now, and you can choose to go back to the cave to continue playing, or you can hit end game and then it will give you your congratulations, you win. The last step is to add a button to return to the start of the game. So now that we have a win and a lose, we need to allow users to return to the beginning. So that means that when we get to the lose game or the end game marker, we stop displaying the input field, and instead we display a button that sets marker to cave and resets player health to 10. So now that you have a playable game, you can add in more of the story. So remember that each marker needs a narrative in the playtext, and if you're setting up more fight mechanics, you'll need to change the marker to stop player health from plummeting. In the example game, you fight a spider in the tight tunnel or bats in the wide tunnel. You kill the spider with a knife and the bat with a rope. Feel free to change the location, the monsters, etc. to make your very own game. Stop building when you have a game that's about at the narrative level of the example game. So when you have 2 pathways, 2 fights, some different fight outcomes, a win or a lose state, and then you've built a playable game. We have loads of extensions that are available to add to the inventory and the health restoration mechanics from the example game and to make it look better. And then you can feel free to continue and improve and tweak your game however you want. So let's just run through the guided extensions real quick. So we could add an inventory and health restoration mechanic. So now that we have a game where we can move around a space, fight a monster, and return to the beginning, we can add simple mechanics for picking up and using items. In the example game, the narrative for the cave marker includes a line that says, on the ground there's a bright red apple, it looks healthy. In the cave section, there's a button to pick up the apple. If the player chooses to pick up the apple, the player items list is updated to include apple. If the player items list includes apple, a button appears above the input field, giving the player the ability to eat the apple. If the player presses the button, player health is increased by 5, and apple is removed from the inventory. So create this type of mechanic in your game, however you would like to do that. So for styling, you can choose how you want your game to look. For some examples to get you started, you could change the font, the colors, the sizes, etc. of the text. You could clean up how options are presented, so that instead of your options are a list of option 1 and option 2, you could have your options are option 1, option 2. Put the column into a panel, fiddle with the alignments for the panel and the column to make it nice and centered, or however you'd like it to look. And there are loads of other ways that you could adjust your adventure. Some other big options that you could do, some further extensions, you could use Cloud Deploy to put your game onto the internet so that you can share it with other people. You could figure out a way to allow players to use a variety of inputs to get to the same space. So for example, instead of having to type fight spider with rope, they could put rope, fight rope, spider rope, etc. Find out a way to use the objects in your inventory to fight. So to only be allowed to fight with the objects that you have, and to be able to pick up more items and be able to fight with those items as well. If you've looked at the example game, you'll see that the line on the ground, there's a bright red apple, it looks healthy, is in the cave narrative. Even if there is no pick up apple option available, you could figure out a way to adjust the string template if you have already picked up the apple. You could come up with more game mechanics beyond just fighting. So for example, you could meet other people who could help with tasks. Maybe your new friend might speak entirely in computer-generated haikus. Or you could set up puzzles for the player to solve. We've included the full code for our example game that you can find in the notebook, and feel free to use that as much or as little as you would like to build your game. Fantastic! I hope that you will have a great time building your text game, and we will see you in the next video for our final project, which is the graphics game.